I'll be handing over to Esiedwa, who still wants Arsenal to win.
Yeah, so growing up, right? Growing up, there was this guy that I liked so much. And
what's his name, Nathaniel? You know, was he
not
not so much hair?
Not so much hair, though. Not so much hair.
But his name was Nathaniel?
No, his name wasn't Nathaniel. Because everybody would know. Those who know would know. But he was a die-hard Arsenal fan. Okay. And anytime Arsenal would play, I remember is the Gunners. I think they are the Gunners, right?
Okay. So I know what to do to win Esiedwa over. First of all, my color has passed the test. My height has passed the test. My name, I could go to the Registrar Generals. It's not a problem at all. But, talk about the Registrar Generals and jobs in general. There is a profession which is key to leadership and development, and that is coaching. Okay, so we've got two specialists here in the studio, and Esiedwa will be engaging them on the area of life coaching in general and what it does to occupational improvement and what it does in terms of also improving our general well-being and productivity in general. So all of that coming up here on Prime Morning. Very, very insightful conversation coming up with our two specialist coaches. Esiedwa, take it over.
Nathaniel, thank you so much. That was incredible. You've literally given me the perfect intro into this conversation that we're about having. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get interactive with us on all our social media platforms. My name is Esiedwa Komia, and like Nathaniel Atto rightly said, coaching. I know that a whole lot of you have heard it countlessly, but what is it really that you know about it? What is the importance of it? And how can it contributes massively to national development, okay? And so that is our conversation right now. My guests are seated. Let me introduce them. Okay, so Malcolm, you would have to help me with your surname, the pronunciation. Phyllis.
Phyllis, yeah.
Oh, Phyllis. So the spelling is F-I-E-L-L-I-E-S.
There we go.
Phyllis. Okay, that's a very nice name. ICF Regional Director, Europe and Africa. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
All right. And Scoffrain and well, he decided to vanish a little bit. He went off a little bit, but he's back. He's back. Well, I don't know if you remember him. Scoffrain, good morning to you. So, transformational coach and the president, ICF Ghana chapter. Hi.
So I'm the one that you are boy my don't do like
that. Yes, me. Who did it?
Hey.
Everybody must know that you vanished to thin air, but you're back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yes,
and thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yeah.
Hope everything is fine though.
Chapter launch, activities,
yeah,
making sure it happens big and beautiful for the country. So we are working hard, very hard.
Okay. Now, for the sake of people who wouldn't really know how booming or what exactly goes into the coaching industry, and like I said, how booming it is, can you help enlighten us, first of all, how the industry is like, what really goes on within the coaching industry? Malcolm, would you want to take that? In general.
Just in general, yeah. So I like what you said, it's booming.
Yeah.
And the question always when something booms, if it's going to blow.
Yes, yes.
And so we have the situation at the moment with our latest study. So we did a snapshot survey last year. And worldwide, there are about over 109,000 professional coaches. Okay. Now, those are professional coaches.
Okay.
Coaches that belong to an association, that adhere to a code of ethics, code of conduct, and like ICF as an example. But then the booming part comes to those who don't have the right qualifications to be able to do that. Those who, how can I say, they self-appoint themselves as a coach. Now, there's a difference, obviously, between coaching and mentoring. And sometimes we do mentoring, and then we veer off to say, but I'm a coach.
I'm a coach, that's true.
And that is something for ICF as an example. We want to advance coaching excellence, which means that we want to make sure that all our coaches, and that coaches generally, have got the necessary skill set, qualifications, and credentials to best serve our communities and our nation as a whole. Because there's something that you mentioned is, national development.
Yes.
So we cannot develop if we don't have the right skills.
Right.
We cannot unpack, we cannot help our clients, we cannot help ministry, our prime minister and everybody else to actually lead this country if we don't do it with the right skill set. And as ICF, we really would like to see coaching being an integral part to transforming societies, and within that, to expand coaching excellence. So when somebody hears that you're a coach from ICF, the one thing that you know is you're going to get a quality, certified, credentialed coach who actually has been trained and has got the necessary requirements and skills to support you on your journey of growth.
Okay, so I think I did read that, you know, coaching is a $4 billion industry for practitioners.
Yes.
For practitioners. And so when I saw that, I'm like, okay, so at the end of the day, it looks like it's very attractive, very, you know, and that's the reason I said the booming.
Yes.
The booming part. And so when we come to Ghana, I don't know how it is like on the outside of Ghana or how well it's doing in general, on the whole. But when it comes to Ghana, for us to really take this very serious, absorb it, and gain from it, what can we do?
It is the first step is what we are doing now, and we want to acknowledge our Director of Europe and Africa for the yeoman's job he gave us, those of us, the ICF coaches in Ghana, to say, if you stand together, you can get a chapter, because it's not kids' play.
Yes.
To get a status and be ratified as a chapter, it's no joke.
Yeah.
Because you need to affiliate with the biggest or the largest coaching federation in the world.
Right.
And it takes a lot to get there. So we want to appreciate him for the guidance and being there to shepherd us into coming to a chapter status. You rightly mentioned 4.5 billion. Other statistics are even saying that this year we may reach 6 billion.
Oh, wow.
That's the global value of coaching for practitioners. So where is Ghana's bite of this global cake?
Yes.
That is where a chapter comes to play.
Okay.
Because a chapter gives you, one, the validity that you can practice coaching within these frameworks. We have 8 competencies, we have ethics, we have standard, we have values.
Okay.
So you are coaches who have gone through the training who can coach within these parameters. Number 2, coaching has rippling effects on every nation that invests in coaching. The company called Intel won the ICF Prism Award.
Okay.
For the past 17 years, they are making $1 billion as a result of coaching's intervention in Intel. $1 billion, just coaches' intervention. So imagine if multimedia plug in coaching into its leadership, into its staff. Give yourself 3 years.
Oh, yes.
Because the research says that you, the individual, say that like you, if you are coached, your performance peaked to 70%.
Wow.
That of your colleagues, if you are all being coached, for the team, peaks to 50%. Then the company gets 48%. So cascade it. You are earning. It's incredible phenomena that such an intervention in human capital development can give this result. This is what Ghana, through this chapter, wants to give back to this country. That henceforth, you have a chapter here. A chapter that sees to it that its members play by the rules of global coaching engagement. So we give back to this nation. Look at leadership. Look at business. Look at youth development. All these can trickle out of the impact coaching can make.
Earlier, Malcolm, you did say something about the difference between coaching and mentoring. And it's very true. They sound the same. They seem like they are the same. But for the sake of viewers who still might be suffering from differentiating, help us decipher the two.
I want to make one qualifying statement before that. I'm not saying mentoring does not exist and is not needed.
Yes.
It is valuable
Right.
in terms of the growth and personal development and professional development of any individual within an organization. So you need a mentor. But a coach has got a different focus. When you look at a mentor, you are a host here.
Yes.
You are a media specialist.
Yeah.
I am not. So you are able to take somebody else and be the mentor, give them very specific guidance to survive within this industry. And to say, how do I climb the ladder within this industry? How do I become as great as you are? You can tell them that. Where a coach comes in is to say, okay, now that you got that aspiration, you know the steps that you need to take. I'll give you an example. A mentor can say, make sure that you step up and you engage with senior leadership. That's number one. And so now you know I must do that. Then he also tells you how to do it. He tells you, now set up a meeting, go to this, speak to so-and-so, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then there's something in that individual that says, I know what I need to do, but to get myself to do it is the problem. So I know I must go speak. I know I must be on television this morning. But phew, this thing is dangerous.
Yeah.
Am I going to survive that? Self-doubt and all those things comes in. Imposter syndrome comes in. I feel that I can't communicate properly.
Right.
So coaching digs into that, into say, the mentors tell you what to do. Let's explore how you can do it best. And so when it comes to coaching, we don't impose ourselves into your space. What we do is we support you on your journey and we unlock whatever's already there. So if we look at the ICF definition of coaching as an example, it's a creative process where unlocked potential gets untapped. In other words, it is a creative process that says, let's have a conversation about this. There's something that you really want to achieve, but something's holding you back. And sometimes we stand in our own way because we don't believe in ourselves or we don't even trust our skill sets that we've got. And through life, it doesn't matter who you are. Even if you're the president or if you're the CEO or if you're the janitor, we all have those moments of self-doubt. And so coaching can really cover the entire spectrum of our community. And so coming back to national development, national development doesn't sit in the state. National development goes from the state right through to the clinic, right through to every individual. And so how do we empower? So mentoring will empower you with what you need to do. They will also tell you how to do it. Coaching unlocks the why I need to do it and what's going to drive me to do it. And even in my fear, how do I overcome that fear to actually step up?
Woo! I like that. You've made it very simple for us. But you know, with everything that both you and Scoffery have shared, what I'm thinking about right now is if schools, most especially, right from a very young age, would adopt a strategy like this or would adopt coaching skills into bringing up, you know, students and, you know, helping them with their cognitive and then everything. Look at the level with which, I'm anticipating the level with which we could go, possibly go, or children would end up going, or adults would end up becoming like in life in general. This is really great. Now, I want us, for starters, the coaching, what would be coaching like to a starter?
So even the background you give, let's say when we start small, or we start with the young people. So it is not the kids you want to coach. You want to coach the parents who are parenting the kids. You want to coach the teachers who are teaching the kids. You want to coach the lecturers who are lecturing the student. You want to coach the administrators, the rectors, the vice chancellors of these schools. Because there is something Napoleon Hill said, when two people tango, something else emerges. That is the magic of coaching. Because the more you get questioned about your why, your existence, your value, your purposes, the essence, even the crafts, even the skill, the more even at the neural level in your brain chemistry, the more it keeps expanding. We call it firing. It allows you to see the world much more bigger, that you are relevant than before. So it is one of the reasons why ICF Ghana chapter, from our onset, we started partnering with universities. Last year, this year, we were at JIMPA. At our launch on Friday, we assigned an MOU with JIMPA that we don't only want to target corporate or individuals, but we also want to permeate and partner with the academia because they produce the human resource for the nation. So when we start with them at that average level, there is an impact we can make.
That's true.
So coaching begins with, on the phrase, everybody needs a coach. That is fundamental. But it takes people who can see that there is more I can give. There is more I can do. There is more value I can bring to every faculty of my life. But in my own single strength, I may not be able to do it. So the moment you see that, why do you want to go to school? You want to upgrade. It's the same intention and attentionality that it's not only schooling that shapes an individual, but it takes having somebody in your corner. I said somewhere, if you and I are meeting at a negotiation table, And I take mine, part of it, to my coach. I say, Coach, I'm going to multimedia. I have a meeting with Monsieur Edouard, and I think I'm having issues with myself. I have to show up and everything. He will begin to ask me, how does this meeting sit in your value?
Okay.
Where does it sit in your personal vision?
Okay.
Why must this happen and everything? When that preparation goes on and I meet you and you don't have a coach, I'll beat you to it.
That's true.
I'll function better. I'll function more responsible. I will get more out of it than you would because I have stretched my worldview with that meeting we are going to have. That is where the magic of coaching occurs.
Yeah.
Malcolm, you want to add something?
There's something. So with everything that he says, fully agree with what he's saying. Now, to be able to do that, you need to be skilled.
Yes.
Right.
You need to have a support structure.
Right.
Yes.
And that is what ICF builds. And so he spoke about the launch of the chapter.
Yeah.
And why do we need a chapter? We need a local community that makes sure that our coaches are skilled appropriately for the work. So even with JIMPA, even with any other NGOs, with corporates, with individuals, you can't just have just anyone working with them. And so as ICF, what we do is we've got 3 pillars or 3 strategic initiatives running for the past 2 years. And one is to have an organization, sustained organization in terms of coaching. So even the way they manage the chapter, all of those things need to be in play. Then there's 2 that's very important. One is member focused.
Okay.
We focus on our members in their development, their professional development, to make sure that they are prepared for the sessions that they go in.
Okay.
And then also empowerment. So continuous learning is important. So when you see somebody come to you and they don't have any credential, it's like going to a lawyer without a legal background or sitting at the bar. And then you wonder...
Law you.
Exactly. And then he charges you. Have you noticed that the ones that is not the ones that are qualified are the ones that charges you the most?
That's true.
And so because there's a difference in terms of ethical behavior. And so even with us, we want to make sure we empower our coaches to such an extent that when you experience an ICF coach, you don't want to go back. You know what it is. An ICF coach also will know the difference between coaching and therapy. That coaching is not a long-term until whenever, to whom it may concern, finishes.
Okay.
Coaching is a very defined, goal-orientated process. So from that, ethical behavior is to say, let us agree how long we're going to be in this experience together. Into this program, what is it that we want to achieve? And the coach has got nothing on themselves. It's all about the client. And that will make a big difference. And I think those are the kind of things that we bring into a local community now.
Right.
Every one of our members has got global access. They are global members. So they got access to a global network. But what's even better if you have access to a community locally that is able to impact the world just around them here in a very positive way. And that is what we want to drive with coaching, that it becomes an integral part to transforming societies at every level, at every sphere. And so we've got our research, we've got our thought leadership that our coaches can draw from to help them navigate their own challenges, but also the market that's around them.
At this point, I believe that coaching is needed in every aspect of life. Everything that you are, involved in, you do need some level of coaching. Now let's come to businesses, business owners. Unfortunately, the level of unemployment is quite high, and so people are encouraged to venture into businesses. So you get into hands-on kind of techniques and skills, and then you create a job or employment for yourself. But at the end of the day, quite a number of them end up setting up businesses and they don't go far with it. So with all that you've said so far about coaching, very attractive, very exciting, yay, and everything. But for a business owner, especially a starter, how would coaching benefit that individual?
I have a client who I've weaned off recently. The uncle of the client called me to say, can you help my niece to get a job?
Okay.
And I said, would you mind I engage with your niece first on that matter? When we engaged, I noticed it's not a job she really needs because she's not job ready for the market, but coaching. So I told the uncle that there is something more than job that I can support her with. So she and I engaged again, and she says, hooray. Then uncle signed her on coaching with me. After session, guess what? She has started her own business. Somebody who needed to be employed elsewhere have started her own business. Not just starting as the usual frenzy buzz leader. Go through the mill, business plan, opening an account, register the business, taking the rudiment that makes a business want to sustain. So you see what coaching did to that business or that young lady who came looking for a job. And by coaching session, she has now created business for herself. And because of the effort she's put through, people who ordinarily were not going to help have now, is the family who are her first employer, like, we want to see you succeed. The mother, the cousins, everybody is putting their hands on deck because they could say, the past, something have changed about you. Something have shifted. Yeah. She owns her, she'll tell you, and I own my voice. Right. And I own my creativity. And I own my influence, such that she's to develop your own business plan, take it to professionals, do all that it's required, and somebody is giving a startup capital to start a business. This is the power of coaching. So it is not just unemployment, I want to start a job. It is shaping what is driving, what is inspiring, what is going to transform and get you to thrive.
Yes.
These three key pillars are important to why you will need to submit. The same way you want to invest in, like I said, in your education. Look for money and say, I want to first invest in me and where I want to go. Because when you're in places of a business, that is connected to your why. That is connected to your actions, connected to the skill you have. It shapes you to move a bit faster than somebody who says, okay, my dad has got money, I want to start business. There is nothing that is getting you to thrive. Nothing that is going to transform the business. Nothing that is going to inspire you to inspire your business. I'm sorry.
That's why a lot of them start and end up going nowhere with it. They fail. Yeah, that's very true. Now, see, we are in an era where it looks like there's a push, there's a drive, there's a support and the need for young people to take over when it comes to leadership.
Yes.
And not just young people in general, but even women as well. But with coaching, how can coaching help nurture or prepare, especially a young person who would be interested in leadership? Now look at our politics, for instance. We've got quite a number of young people who are aspiring to get into these leadership positions. So now what exactly does coaching do when it comes to leadership?
So when it comes to leadership, so we've got, I mean, I think we all by now know there's executive coaching. And that's normally people that's there already. Coaching also prepares you for your next part of your life cycle. Now, I'm saying life cycle because whatever that career holds for you, whether it is a promotion within the organization, whether it's actually finding your feet somewhere else, coaching gives you that for two reasons. One, you clarify your purpose as an individual.
Right.
You clarify your own value that you bring to society and to the role. Because remember, we are complicated human beings. We're not singular. Nobody can box you into one thing. We are got a mix of everything. And so when I step into this and say, I want a promotion, why? What is this going to do for me? How does this align to my future vision for myself? How does it align in terms of my own value set? So coaching helps you unpack that. Then it says, okay, so now you're going to be the next CEO. What do we need to get there? And so it becomes very pragmatic in terms of that's a vision, that's a drive for that vision. But now what do we do to get there? We can't just dream about it.
Yes.
So now we start putting in what is it that you need from an educational point of view and how you're going to get there. Then you can say, but I don't have money. We had a situation where we were coaching a CEO of an NGO. You know, NGOs always look for money. So this is an example even for a young person who says, I don't have money to study, I don't have this, I don't have that. We had a coaching session, and the coaching session went around how to get funding to get coaching for your team. Now, what does coaching do? It shifts your thinking. The coaching session about how to get funding for coaching for your team wasn't about the funding. It's about the way of thinking. It was the way of saying, how do I do something differently? So even for emerging leaders, we get stuck with, I see so-and-so did this, but who are you? Who's that authentic leader that comes through that the team actually want to experience? And so you start unpacking that in yourself, and that's when you start feeling comfortable in yourself, and then you can excel. The moment we try to fit into somebody else's mold, it becomes very difficult, and coaching helps you to find you, and then move forward from that, and then you can see you will excel in life with the story that is mentioned now. I mean, literally from coaching to get a job
Yeah.
to, guess what, let me start my own thing and be successful. And that's the thing that we do, is those are the things that we do. It's empowering, shifting the mindset, and helping you to think clear about your own value and purpose.
Is there anything you want to add?
No, he said it all. Coaching eliminates something like, oh, she's lucky, oh, he's lucky. Because coaching sets you on the path of being intentional.
Okay.
And now you give yourself attention to what you are intentional about. Because your coach will hold you responsible. So what you do with a coach is that I sign you, Scoffrey, into my life to hold me accountable to my thinking, my behavior, my attitude, the way I carry myself. So if you have someone like that in your corner, you know that any way you project, you will be questioned. Okay, how does this sync with whom you claim you want to be?
Yeah.
What is holding you back? And look, we come from places where our mindset, our belief system, the homes that were raised, even the courses we offer in university, all later tend to become stumbling blocks in a part of our life. It makes you feel, okay, if I don't have this, that means I can't do that. And a coach will question you to why you have placed limiting beliefs. How have you narrowed, this is a status quo. As for this family, women don't go far.
Yeah.
So if you're coaching a lady in aspiring into promotion, transition, leadership here and there, the question is the issue about being a woman, or is the issue about how you see yourself?
Right.
This is a coaching question.
Wow.
Very good.
This is a very powerful coaching question what is before us? Is it about you being a woman, or it's about how you see yourself? Then that is when you get hit and go like, where is it coming from that I don't see this in me? Where have I been? What have I been told? What have I been saying to my own self?
Yeah.
What would it now take me to believe in myself? What would it take me to now value me? Because the more you start putting a price and value on yourself, that is worthy for you. Nothing will hold you behind from entering into bigger doors. This is the power of coaching.
This is incredible. We really do need coaching in all aspects. Now, earlier, Nanayao, you made an example citing multimedia. You cited me first as a host and all of that. If we are to adopt coaching into everything that we are doing, the possibility of our performance level, rising, going up and everything. Now, are there any documented statistics to show when it comes to the impact of coaching in organizations?
Yeah. So from our research, as an example, so three things that basically high level. One, revenue goes up for an organization.
Okay.
If you think about it in this way, you move from being the host to being the CEO here. There's something that you bring to this organization. But if you feel comfortable in that, you are being able to bring yourself, being innovative, what happens? You start thinking differently. The way you lead also is different, which means that the team that you work with feels valued, they feel. And there's something that the biggest currency for me, for any leader, is discretionary effort from the team. So being that, it means that once the team gives you discretionary effort, they bring innovation, they bring different ideas, and the organization and yourself can grow. So from a personal growth point of view, you're actually allowing yourself, by empowering others, to also grow in that way. So profits of the organization goes up. If also in terms of yourself, as you move through, that is where you got your personal and professional growth happening. So which means that if I go from this role to that role, there's an increase or something, or when I start my own thing. So there's definitely, our research shows that definitely the profits go up of the organization. And then what also happens, we spend a lot of money on recruiting new staff when somebody leaves. Now, when we have a coaching program and coaching culture within an organization, we've got higher retention rate of employees, which means that we don't have to spend $100,000 on recruitment. We can actually spend it in terms of innovation and creating an environment where our staff can thrive, which in return will double our income, because now people are feeling valued and part of the system. So part of our research also shows that the business starts achieving their goals even much more when you have a coaching culture. Because what happens in a coaching culture, we align the entire business, the teams, to one vision and one mission. And so once we all put our energies in that, and not one working this way and the one that way, it means that the business goals can be achieved.
So, at the end of the day, you might think you have the expertise, you've gone to school, you have the knowledge, you have the skill.
Yeah.
You can contribute massively to growing a company or an organization.
Yeah.
But then before you realize, maybe if you had just opened yourself up to coaching, you would know that you don't know anything.
It's very beautiful. When you look at Oman Oil Group Company, when COVID hit, when other companies were retrenching staff, they said, wait, what can we do as a way to support our staff? Because it's a matter of well-being.
Yeah.
It's a matter of work-life balance.
Yeah.
It's a matter of satisfaction in a chaotic era.
Yeah.
The moment they plugged coaching into their HR culture, something shifted. Something absolutely shifted. Because skill, without a well-being or without psychological safety, you won't produce the performance as it is required. Knowledge, without a certain sense of purpose and value to coordinate the knowledge, will also not produce performance that is required. So what you originally pride yourself, oh, we're achieving this.
Yeah.
It's not your highest of it, because an intervention like coaching have not come in yet. If you want to dare, give yourself a 5-year projection that we want to sign onto coaching culture, and let's see what will happen in the next 5 years. I just told you about that of Intel.
Yeah.
That after 17 years, every year now they are making 1 billion ROI just because coaching was introduced. Okay, the net promoter score in the whole world, it's Intel that leads the higher percentage. So the statistics are enormous. So we want to urge multimedia, using your show this morning, that we want to build that partnership with them. Test that and see. Give us all the channels, at least for each of the teams, and let's introduce coaching. 6 months, and give us additional 1 year and see. Because coaching is ecological. It takes the space.
See, viewers, at the end of the day, when this happens, we're about to blow your mind on here. On all the multimedia channels. If we do this, we are going to blow their minds.
You will see
a drastic change.
You will see the difference. Within 2 years, you will see. Because coaching deals with your creativity.
Right.
It will tackle your purpose to why the business is established.
Yeah.
It will coordinate the action required. So if you have all these 3 things coming together out of coaching, guess what you cannot do?
Let's talk about briefly, unfortunately, our time. Yeah, we've taken so much time. So the official launch and what really should viewers expect? So quickly.
Yeah, the official launch is taking place on Friday.
Okay.
At the EcoBank Headquarters Auditorium. We have our Europe and Africa director giving us the keynote speech. We are fortunate to have the ICF Global Chair for the Enterprise, Dr. Dumisani, is also coming. He will arrive hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
We have our own Professor Samuel Ni Odai, an astute coach. He's actually a leadership coach and an academician. He is giving us the guest of honor speech. There will also be testimony, more or less like coaching in organizations. 2 sister organizations that have invested in coaching, coming to use their example to speak to the corporate board. What has it done to us? Somebody from MTN, somebody from Stanbic Bank. Then we have one of the coaches who's a strategic management expert from African Development Bank, now retired, also to share what coaching does in organizations and open up our chapter members to those who will be there. It's strictly by invitation, overly booked, but at least it's to let Ghanaians know. Now, ICF Ghana chapter have arrived.
And I'm grateful that you have arrived. That's where we end the conversation. Welcome. Thank you so much for your time, Nanaya. Thank you so much for your time this morning. It's really a great one. So my guests have been Malcolm Phyllis, ICF Regional Director, Europe and Africa, and Scoffrey Nanaya Oyeboah, Transformational Coach and President of ICF Ghana Chapter. And it's all about the importance of coaching in national development. My name is Asiedua Akomia. That's where we end this segment. But coming up next is the big interview. Very much Sydney is in the building, and Rosemary Felly will be seated with him, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.